All right, guys. So, unfortunately, as some of you guys may know or are currently experiencing, we're going through a historic winter storm in the United States, where we have freezing temperatures all over the country. And in some parts of the country, we have blizzards. Okay, quite literally, some parts of the country are snowed in. Okay, like for example, Buffalo, who is getting hit quite hard by this natural disaster, is suffering a lot. And unfortunately, during times of natural disaster, just like hurricanes down in Florida, you have people who take advantage of these natural disasters to commit crimes, to loot, to steal, to destroy property that is not theirs. And you always have these conversations from the mainstream liberal media trying to excuse the actions of criminals. Like, for example, this article here from the Washington Post talks about how this blizzard is fueling racial and class divides in this city. You also have another article out here that basically is accusing what is happening in Buffalo of being racist. And what are they claiming as racist, guys? Well, they're claiming that police diverting resources to trying to stop looters is somehow racist. This is what they're claiming, right? This is what they're claiming. Incredible stuff. It's just so funny to me how these people they love criminals so much, right? They love criminals. But anyways, in this video, we gotta talk about this woke TikTok, right? This woman who happens to be black. She looks black. Allegedly, she's black. She's saying that it is okay to loot because white people stole land, right? So white people shouldn't be complaining about people looting because white people stole land, right? And I want to react to that, but first I want to play a couple of news clips for you guys, so you guys can get a better understanding of what's going on out in Buffalo. And then I'm gonna play the TikTok reaction to it, just so you guys can see how silly that it is. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll the clip.
Low, reprehensible, and disgusting. Those are the words Buffalo law enforcement and city leaders have used to describe the criminals who have looted local businesses during this deadly blizzard.
We're joined now live by Buffalo Police Commissioner Joseph Gramaglia. Commissioner, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Let's talk a little bit about logistics first and also some of the stats that you guys have gathered. I know yesterday morning you had released a special detail of officers who were charged with going out and specifically addressing issues of looting. About how many stores or businesses do you think have been hit at this point, and how many arrests have been made?
So I don't have the final calculations yet. There have been a lot, but with the driving ban, not all store owners, managers have been able to get to their locations. We've come across stores that have had damage. We just don't know if that's a result of looting or any other issues. So it's going to take some time to get those final calculations. But we have made 9 arrests since the start of our detail. The detail started up yesterday, and all those arrests came yesterday. We are also working at our district detective level to investigate the leads that we have on other ones. You showed a video there of a person smashing a cash register from Louis. That we've already gotten tips on the identification of somebody. We are working to finalize that. We will make arrests. I'm going to give the suggestion to anybody that's involved in this, you might as well turn yourselves in, because we are going to come and knock at your door.
Tonight, we are hearing some more unfortunate stories of looting all across Buffalo. The owner of Louis Texas Red Hots on Bailey Avenue tells Two on Your Side his heart is broken watching security footage of his restaurant being looted on Christmas Day. As of this evening, Carl Anderson Jr. says his restaurant is finally boarded up. Meanwhile, Buffalo police tell us they are following some leads in this case.
This isn't people stealing food and medicine and diapers. They are destroying stores. They're stealing televisions, couches, whatever else they can get their hands on. They're opportunists. They're taking advantage. And all you're doing is destroying the resource you have when you need to go to the store again and buy food or whatever else that you need.
The Buffalo Police Department has formed an anti-looting detail to hold criminals accountable. So far, 8 people have been arrested.
So I live in Buffalo. This is a 33. This is my car that's been buried in all of this fucking snow since last week. And this is outside my granny's house. A tree that's been there since my aunt was a child. Safe to say that it's a fucking shit show out there, right? Here go y'all goblins who don't even live in the fucking city. Which, by the way, the Q-tip people are the last ones to ever talk about somebody stealing anything. Y'all wouldn't be in this country had it not been for y'all stealing it. So y'all are more focused on people looting and trying to get necessities and things that they need. And yes, a TV is a fucking necessity thing. Than the people who are literally freezing to death in their own home, freezing to death outside because this city did not shut down the way it should have. Byron Brown want to get on here and talk about, we told y'all, we knew this was gonna happen, but why didn't you close businesses when you should have? Why you got everybody rushing home at noon when the fucking storm is starting, and now people are literally dying in their cars because they can't see? And yeah, it was that fucking bad. I went out like at 8 o'clock in the morning before it started, and by the time I got out of Wegmans, right, it was like maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock, and it was fucking bad. And that was just the beginning of the storm. So if you don't live in Buffalo, even if you do live in Buffalo, you feel like you're better than because people are out here stealing, and you would never. First of all, if you are a Mayo monster, that is how your ancestors got everything, from stealing. People are out here trying to get toilet paper. People are out here trying to get, just small little food from Family fucking Dollar, and y'all gotta fucking fuck capitalism. Steal everything that you need, babe. Because at the end of the day, this city continuously fails us whenever we have any type of emergency. Byron, do better, bitch.
Yeah, so you guys seeing that, you heard that, okay? This is, unfortunately, it's par for the course when it comes to the rhetoric from the woke left, okay? Because they love criminals, right? Woke liberals, progressives, they love criminals. They would make every excuse in the book to defend criminal activity, right? But they don't really care about the law-abiding citizens, the business owners that are suffering because criminals are looting their stores, and they're not looting their stores for essential goods, right? That's not what's happening, okay? This lady clearly is ignorant on what's going on here, because she's actually educated on the issue. She would understand that these criminals are going in there and they're stealing cash. They're not stealing food, right? They're stealing all types of luxury goods. A TV is not a necessity, bruh. Right? It's really not. And the thing is that it's one thing to criticize the city's mismanagement of preparing for the storm. It's another to say, well, the city's mismanagement is what led to looting. That's not the case, right? I don't think that's the issue. I don't think that's the issue. The issue is that you have criminals taking advantage of this snowstorm to try to hurt law-abiding citizens. That's what's happening. And it's just funny to me how every single time this happens, the woke revolutionaries want to come out here and cry racism in defense of criminals. You guys remember when Ron DeSantis came out here and said, when they start looting, we start shooting? Joy Reid cried racism. Oh, that's racist. That's racist. You're saying you want to shoot black people. Again, it's hilarious how Joy Reid is accusing Ron DeSantis of being a racist when nobody said anything about shooting black people. Joy Reid is the one that assumed that when we're talking about looting, right, or people who are looting, we're talking about blacks, right? That is what she assumed. I don't just assume, unless, there's video evidence out here, which in this case, it is video evidence, that the looters are black. I don't just assume that. I don't assume when people talk about locking up criminals that they're just talking about locking up black people. But hey, it seems that quite often that turns out to be the case, which is a problem that nobody ever wants to address. Why does nobody ever want to address every single time this stuff happens when we're talking about this type of organized crime, particularly when it comes to theft? The suspects tend to be black. They tend to be black. Nobody ever wants to talk about that issue. They always want to make excuses for these people, but they never want to talk about why in the world do these people always happen to be black, right? As a black person, I'm embarrassed, right? I really am. I am sick and tired of every single time I do these stories. It's always a black person, right? It's always a black person, okay? And I don't even want to assume that it is, but it just so happens that's the case. And it's embarrassing. And what's even more embarrassing is people defending it. People crying racism simply for enforcing our laws. Enforcing our laws against black people is not racist. But again, this is how we got to the point we've gotten in this country where we have historic crime, where we have historic theft. It's because they say, well, locking up black people is racist. You can't lock up black people because it's racist. So what do y'all think? Y'all think black people they're just naturally prone to doing this stuff? Just let them do it, right? And if you're opposed to it, then you're a racist. It's amazing, man. The bigotry of low expectations when it comes to black people it's stunning. And it is the worst issues with black people in crime. It's the expectation that, hey, well, this is just what they do, right? It's just excusing, anything that black people do as, oh, well, it's just because of, racism or whatever, right? And in this case right here, I mean, this lady is going as far as to excuse it by saying, well, white people stole this land, so therefore it's okay for, you know, black people to loot and to steal. And it's like, what? They don't have anything to do with each other. That has nothing to do with it. But okay, if you believe that the land is stolen, then leave. You're living on stolen land, benefiting from stolen land, according to you. Then get the F out the country then. Go to Africa, right? Go somewhere else if that's how you feel. But they never will. They're going to stay here in this country. They're going to moan and complain about how bad this country is while, again, benefiting from it. And then also go out here and vote for policies and laws that reward criminals, right? Actively destroying the country. It really pisses me off. It really does, right? People like this woman right here, again, you know, this was wrong with our society. This is what's wrong with our society. People making excuses for criminals. Also, not to mention the racism here, right? The overt racism, calling white people male monsters and all this other stuff, all these slurs they use against whites. Totally fine, right? But if a white person came out here and would start saying all types of stuff like that, people would be losing their minds. Again, just shows you the double standard that we have when it comes to these types of issues. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.